Hello! Yes, it's a new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Yes, I wasn't live last week, and I actually didn't intend to go live now. However, it being Christmas, my daughter had something for Christmas. She didn't just have this, but she did have this, which is a Xbox controller for her PC, and it has managed to last 1 week. So what I thought we would do is do a bit of a tear down and have a look at this to see what is wrong and if we can fix it, or am I going to take it back and really show up a manufacturer if we can to say, hey, your product sucks or your product's great, because my daughter hasn't dropped it, hasn't done anything. But I thought it would also be an opportunity to have a bit of a chat and a catch up and wish you all amazing things, but also talk about what's going on, what I've missed, what I've been doing in the background as well, and, you know, just touch on a few things along the way. Now, hello to everyone in the chat. Let me hit the button and make sure I'm in the right place. I am. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone. Let me catch down. Well, it's Microsoft. Yeah, I powered my PC on. It's been off for a week because I've been away. And Windows updates, and then it wanted me to log back into Microsoft, and it's like, why? Why are you doing these things to me? Now, I hope you all had lots of nice gifts for Christmas. I had a couple of things, not that much drone related this year, because I tend to buy the drone related stuff. But finally, I have myself a precision set of scales. I've wanted a precision set of scales for a very long time. And now my wife bought me a set off Amazon. That was quite cheap, but she asked, like, what do you want? And I was like, a couple of things. So I put a couple of things in the basket, and I finally got a precision set of scales. And the reason you want a set of scales like this, for those who haven't seen, is it means I can weigh the little stuff like this, the little receivers properly. So just to give you an idea, if we just power them on, it's always nice to have some. Oh, that light is really refracting today on the top. Let me just move that over to there so you can see. Yeah, my overheads are definitely reflecting. There you go. So if I put the counterweight on, the weight is a 50-gram weight for testing. So there you go. You can see that's 50 exactly. And then we have a precise set of scales that we can weigh a ExpressRS receiver down to as little as 0.81 grams. So I finally got myself a nice, lightweight, portable, sort of accurate small scale, which will be very, very handy. I had a couple of other things. I hope everyone else did as well. I had a couple of bits and pieces. As always, though, it is the kids that get the most things, as they do every year. But wasn't too many drone-related things for me this year. But yeah, overall, something I will actually use. Now, before we get into what we're going to do with the teardown of this remote controller, really just a couple of other things. Since I've been off, I've seen there's been a load of sort of leaked posts and shopping carts available for the O4 Pro ear unit and those others. There's a lot of people listing it already. There's a couple of stores, one in Germany, I think, listing it to deliver on the 7th. Find it hard to believe. But yeah, the 9th is the date you want to keep an eye on. I might have given you a different date in the past, but the 9th is the date you really want to keep an eye on, I've heard. But there are stores out there now listing them and full specifications and stuff like that. And I'm going to probably put a video up before the 9th. I've got an idea in my head about a little video that I intend to just put together. I will not be reviewing the O4 and the O4 Pro. I'm not part of DJI's release cycle. I have made a decision to not even try on the day, in the sense of there were a number of things I could do, and there's some amazing people out there, and there's lots of incredible opportunities. But I've decided that I'm not going to be doing anything on day one. I don't even intend, and I'm going to use the word intend here just in case something changes, but I don't intend to be making any content for the first 2 to 3 weeks. And I'll make content when I'm ready because, frankly, I'm not going to rush. There will be all of the big channels that will do the reviews, which is great for them. You know, they work with DJI, that's fine. I'm not giving DJI free press if they don't work with us, but also I need time to look at this as well. And if you take into account the reviewers who've got this right now have had this for a few weeks, so they've had time to play with O4. I can't pick it up on day one and do that. Does that mean there might not be a mad style live stream when I receive? Probably when I order. I'm going to order on day one, but I'm going to have to order 2 of everything because I need 2 to go, 1 of each to go into a quad and 1 of each for bench testing. That's how I have to have it. I always have bench testing VTXs here. So I'll be ordering 1 of each. If there is anything that someone hasn't covered that I can do on a live stream, I will. But the truth is, you will learn 99% of what you need to learn on day one from the big reviews. Look, there's nothing magical here. There's lots of... Look, it's an Avata 2 in an ear unit. That we know. Okay. It's the same camera. It's going to behave like the Action 4 and the Avata 2 because it's the same sensor, same image processor. O3 was the same as the Avata 1. O4 Pro, same as the Avata 2. So you've got that, which is great. So for image quality, you know where you're at. That you know. If you've flown an Avata 2 and you love the image quality and you love the live feed, you will love O4 Pro. What's not to say about it? The light is, where things are quite interesting, or what I'm calling the light, what DJI are going to call the standard. That's basically a Neo camera. What is interesting is, if you remember the specification, and I have said this before, the standard, the light, has got the highest latency. So the light has some benefits, but it's also a bit of a weirdly placed product as well because, number one, it has the higher of the latency of the 2 models. And then number 2, whilst it's listed at 3.7 volt, that's not 1S. And it isn't clear today how low it will go in the voltage. And I know people are starting to do tests on this, but I don't think this is a 1S VTX. I think this is a low voltage 2S VTX, and I don't believe for 1 minute it's going to work down to below 3 volts, so which will put it out for 1S. You know, so that needs to be checked as well. But there's a lot of excitement with it, but there's nothing new here. That's the new thing. Actually, there's one thing new, and that's race mode. There are things I now know about race mode, which, okay, it somewhat aligns with what I was thinking it was going to be, but it's not magical. It's doing what I expected, basically, which is lowering the latency, allowing more pilots to fly. That's about it. I think overall, in the end, there is no downsides to O4 compared to O3. Everything about it is better, and that's a good thing. And what's really annoying for O3 users, and there's 2 things I will tell you now. They have fixed low power mode, and they have fixed manual power selection. And what's really frustrating is these are things that all are software and all could have been fixed in O3, yet they're going to be features of O4. And it's a classic example of DJI taking something away from you that you had on the first system and giving it back to you in something new with a new dress. But the truth is, overall, it's better than O3 in every way. There really is no downside to O4. Everyone should be happy. There will be quirks. Not everyone's going to be happy that, you know, you can't use it in this scenario, you can't use it in that scenario. But the basics are, in the end, the camera mounting is a probably, yeah, if you really want to go extreme, the camera mounting is dull. But that's about it. You know, it's only downside is 2 antennas. No, that's an upside, really. It's, you know, in the end, it's an evolutionary product. The truth is, with O4, it's what we've seen with the Avata 2. No one sort of stood back and went, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. But what it absolutely was a massive step ahead of what we had before. The RF link, I don't think you'll always need new frames. There are frames that will be able to be modified. If I look around here, I'm just looking around what I can see. I can see Chris Ross's AOS 5. That'll probably be fine. Chris has got the plates on that. He can modify that, I'm guessing. I would think. There are some frames that are going to need a mod. That's for sure. But if it's got a insert, you'll be able to use it, basically. Will the O4 Pro camera fit O3 frames with a wide gap between the two screws? Look, you got to take into account the screws are not centered, so high and low. So you could mount the camera high or lower. The width is the same. It's still 20mm. But you still have to mod frames, and yeah, look, there are complexities to the stupid design that DJI have chosen with the camera. I guess I need an E-unit light now. Yeah, you know, but we're on the countdown now. It's not far away, but look, it's the thing to understand with O4 is it's a burner. It's not going to be a product that everyone goes wow overnight on. It's going to be better. It'll sell well. I'll be ordering in 4 units, two pros, 2 standards. And I'll make content when I make content. And that will be how I play this. What I'm actively doing is DJI is not going to get any benefit from me for free as they would. Because I'm not going to make content for the sake of making content. That is the term I'm trying to say. I will step out and let everyone else do their thing. And I'm happy to do that. And I'll come back around later. If someone brings out content that has everything in it, then I might not even make content. I don't need to. I'll give you a opinion piece once I've flown it. But here's the truth. I need some time on this to understand it as well. You can't make a long-term review in 10 minutes. You know, you need a bit of time. That's the reality. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what the light looks like. The light is the interesting one. I still can't quite believe that they are shipping that light as the Beard board. You know, it's crazy. It just seems crazy. But let's see. They may regret that one. They really will. So that's it on that. The distance is 18mm. It's 16mm camera spacing. Just reading down. DJ does split the biggest shield. I also think there might be some bind and flies coming. I have heard What's your guess on how long before O4 compatibility with Goggles 2 and Integra? Day one. Release day. $16mm space in between the cameras. The screws top to bottom. Day one release for Goggles 2. But just remember, as stated in the past, Goggles 2 and Integra don't support race mode. What isn't really understood yet, and I don't think it will be on day one either, is the implications of race mode. So race mode is a separate operating mode, apparently. But we know it's the lowest latency mode. We know it does 1080p. We just don't know what the downside is. And I suspect it's range of penetration. What my feeling is DJI are pulling out a lot of the FEC on race mode to reduce the processing time. And that will have an effect on penetration and overall performance. But that should be fine for racing. Someone said check the super chats. I did see him come in. I'll have a look at it in a second. Know that I know nothing about Open IPC goggles. It'll be a community project. I wouldn't expect to see anything. There is no official plan to make goggles, as I understood it. That I wouldn't expect anything in 6 months. We don't have a VRX yet, let alone a set of goggles. Someone has said about Cadex, notice serious lack of walk snail availability. There was a serious lack of walk snail availability on their website over the Christmas period as well, for those who noticed. Yes, their website of... went down. You're in the bath. Oh, James. Pass me the bubble bath. Don't get me excited now. Cadex shortage. There are two things going on. There is more moves out of China to restrict the flow of FPV goods into war zones. That I am aware of. Also, there is a lot of stuff going into that war zone, and I'm trying to be careful what I say. So as a result of it, supply of everything is a bit crazy. Now, before we move forward, I just want to say a huge thank you for the super chat from Swisslinks FPV. 120 CHF. I don't know what CHF is, but a massive thank you for the 120 CHF super chat. That is incredible. Thank you very much. I really, really do appreciate it. Will O4 be compatible with HD0? No. Do DJI Neo become compatible with Goggles 2 and Integra? No, not as far as I'm aware. But I don't have any information either way. I don't know anything about that. Hard finding O3 ear units out of production. Yes, I did talk about this a little while ago. I was told in November that O3 was out of production. I'm sure it's on one of the streams. I've spoke about it already. So as far as I understand it, O3 is over. O4 replaces O3. End game. Move on. There'll be stock around, but that stock will get light and it will be over. Swiss francs. Thank you, Braz. How will O4 compare to HD0? That's not... In what sense? Let me just go back up Okay, my Blitz FPV just said, your video seems to have encouraged some manufacturers to start supporting using AM32 for their new products. Would you say you have seen that trend as well? There's definitely more people getting into AM32, and I would like to think, and I won't take responsibility, but I would like to think taking a pretty clear and open stance has made a few manufacturers think. And I've just said, this is not going to slip under the radar. You're not going to get away with this. So I would like to think that has a positive impact. We'll never be able to measure it because we need a time machine to be able to do it, and we'd need multiverse to be able to see both paths. But as we don't have a multiverse, I would like to think the very fact I've highlighted it and said that I will highlight this every time I see it means some people might think, you know what, let's just get on board properly. Any answers about the Avatar version 2 system? Zero. Nothing at all. Genuinely. Nada. The testers for CADX will obviously know more than me because I'm not a tester for CADX. I still don't think it's anytime soon. If it happens. And genuinely, I mean that on the if it happens. I'm not even convinced it will. Question about the GX12. Do you think that there's room to drill a hole and add a toggle arm switch on the top next to the flush mount momentary switch? Yeah, you could absolutely drill a hole. Remember, you can replace the plates. There's plenty of space on the top of the GX12. Lots of space to do what you want. You could 3D... There are 3D printed covers. Look, there's a little... Where it lacks in space is inside. There's not that much space inside here, but you could absolutely put a toggle. Well, you've got 2 toggles now, but you can absolutely change all of this around. You can do what you want, if you like, as the Stereophonics once said. Will O4 open a multiverse? Probably. But release date of O4, 9th. What's the 1S stuff you got community post? That was me hinting that 1S could be for O4. Bought a box of Crush in mint from your video. It's really nice in mint. That's the colour I've got. It is lovely. Congrats. That's a great radio. 9th of January, yes. We're the 3rd today. Next Thursday. If I'm right. Yes. Quick thoughts on the penny farthing folding looking thing. The DJI Flip, it's a drone I still don't fully understand, but I probably never will. The truth is it's designed for... The way it was described to me was it's designed for the Asian market. It'll be sold everywhere else, but it's a drone for the Asian market. What there has been today is some more leaks, especially around this. For those who haven't seen, there's more leaks around what appears to be the DJI Matrice 4E and 4T, which looks very cool. Oh, NVIDIA broadcast isn't working. This is what happens when you live stream without testing anything first. Very interesting indeed. There are websites showing listings as well for the O4 unit with delivery on the 7th, but I wouldn't believe for 1 minute you'll get delivery on the 7th. Let me just find it. Right, now I've turned that back on. I should be able to do that now. There we go. But yeah, this is what I'm more excited about. The new Mavic 4. This thing just looks a beast. Wow. Swiss Links, thank you for that. That's incredible. 270. That's amazing. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I really do. That is incredible. Just catching down on the chat as well. I have heard on AM32 Blitz that there's been a lot of work on the racing side of it, and I think there's a lot of people a lot happier now. I have heard that. I don't know how true it is. So there are a number of websites showing O4 Pro available to order. FPV Faster have listed it. And there's another German one that's listed it as well. Let me just find it. I think it's that one. There's another German one here that's listed it too. There's a few that have started listing them now. Official, interestingly, these guys who've listed it as well, right, they're official images. I'm surprised DJI haven't ripped them apart over this. Quite interesting indeed. Mavic 4's Mavic 4 looks incredible. Size-wise is the light. 14 mil. 14 mil. Something that was said to me is this. This will be the best 14 mil looking camera that exists on the market today. So whilst this is on another level image quality wise compared to any other 14 mil camera on the market. And that's not surprising, let's be honest. But yeah, there are some German sites that seem to have listed it. One S is going to be complicated because, look, what people have to be very careful about on 1S is what the lowest voltage is, and we don't know. Look, DJI haven't listed this as 1S. They've listed it as 3.7 to 13, whatever it was, volts. Remember, 1S will go down to as low as 2.5 volts on a flat battery. You're going to have to be very... This is probably not for 1S. It's 2S. So people do need to be a bit careful on that, because if it starts blanking out at, 3.7 volts, 3.6 volts, you're going to get 10 seconds on 1S. We're going to have to wait and see. How low will it go? And we've just got to see. We just don't know. That's the truth of it. So, but look, there are some websites with it up as well. Waiting on new AM32 GSC for my sponsor to test, but I have heard some interesting results from other racing pilots about AM32 as being very good. Proper ESC set is crucial. Yeah, and I think there's been a lot of work done, Blitz, on AM32 as well. I think that there's a lot coming together. AM32 is definitely for O4 Lite for fully charged 1S only, lol. Is the O4 unit out? No, the 9th. So, interesting. Something else I just want to show you guys quickly as well, which I thought was interesting, and I usually save this for a Sunday stream. Axis have released some new thermal dual cameras. Now, these are not the cheapest in the world, and you can get some cheaper thermal cameras on AliExpress, but Axis flying 9th of Jan, Jake. Dual camera model, thermal imaging, FPV DIY camera. So it's a thermal and it's a standard camera. Now the thermal version is $251 at 256 by 192. 384 by 288 is $559, and $710 for the 640 by 512. Now that is incredible value. What's actually really interesting though is if you go onto AliExpress, There are some fairly cheap 640 thermal cameras available. Get off. There are a number of these style units, right, for drones that are incredibly well priced. If you look at this, right, 649mm CVBS for 590 quid. That is insane. Yes, these would have to be used with analog, but that is still very, very cheap for the thermal camera. It is amazing how cheap thermals have got. Honestly, thermal cameras have got so cheap. So cheap. It's incredible. It really is. Happy New Year to you, Flying Kebab. Hope you're well. So, but yeah, they've got this dual camera as well, which I thought is quite cool. Quite cool. Yeah. The XH15 is wild for $1,000. XH15? I tell you what I'm also thinking about doing as well. Ah, yes. Yeah. Happy New Year, Jake. I hope it's good to you as well, my friend. I hope you're... if you don't know, Jake has an amazing channel. I love Jake's channel. I hate him because he lives in an amazing part of the world. And his videos always look so nice. If you don't know who Jake is just... I gotta hate the guy. The guy just... People shouldn't be allowed to live where Jake does. If you haven't seen Jake, this is Jake. He's a great guy. He makes just fantastic content. But look, just this is bullshit is what this is. This level of creativity and image quality is just bullshit. No. Just stop. Stop with the nice shots, the bloody snowy mountains, and the cinematic proper look of content creating. You can wind your neck in, right, and get back down behind a shitty desk in a shed and stop this nonsense. Okay? Enough of this niciness. And it's not just that. It'll be somewhere with a waterfall in a minute, and then it'll look nice, and it'll be at some freaking mountains. Look, see, I saw this one. He's fucking somewhere. Look at this. Look at that. Look, who does that? Just fucking hate these people. But if you don't know, please check out Jake's channel. He's a proper content creator. He's way too fit as well, if I'm honest. He needs to wind his neck in is what Jake needs to do. But, yeah. Right, just catching down on the chat. I also, before we get into what I was going to do tonight, right, I'm going to regret doing this. I keep seeing videos for these drones, right? Would you love me to review one of these drones? I keep seeing these videos for these Temu drones, right? And what's annoying me is there is one which looks like a Mavic remote, but it's not available on Temu. It's on AliExpress, and I ended up having to search for it on AliExpress, and I can't remember the model number now. Let me have a look on my phone. there was one of these drones I saw, and it looks like it comes with a DJI remote. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. It actually looks like it comes with the DJI Pro remote. Here it is. D27 drone. Try D27 drone. Let me try this. Right, yeah, look at this thing, right? Oh, is it the K... It's like these things, right? So they've got... Yeah, what was it? It was in the search bar, did you say? It was the KF104. That's it. Is it this thing? There's one of these that... Yeah, there you go. Look, it comes with like a smart controller. I am seriously tempted to have a look and do a review on one of these with touchscreen remote. The remote screen will just be a sticker. But there's so many of these drones with these. How much are they selling it? Touchscreen remote. 227 with the touchscreen remote. There's so... Do it. Don't do it. Because I've seen hardly any legitimate reviews of these. I've seen hardly any legitimate reviews of these. Jesus, what? Amorphous has just donated $499. Don't pay more than 30. You'll take off postage to save the weight because it doesn't work. Jesus, thank you, Amorphous. Wow, that is incredible. Happy New Year to you, my friend. I was at Christmas hunting over, and I just seen these things come up. And I just thought, and I had a search through YouTube, and I just couldn't find any legitimate reviews. That is incredible. Thank you for that. That's amazing. Wow. That is incredible. It's interesting just to see what they would be like. You know, I am expecting them to be a complete shit show. Happy New Year stream every week. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, too fake. That is just what we do. It's just crazy. Right. Whilst we're going to talk, we're going to look at this. Now, my daughter had a PC for Christmas, which I built. And as part of it, I bought her this cheap Xbox controller to use with it, which is made by Rematch, as you can see there. And unfortunately, in 1 week, this has stopped working. This controller here. So let me just get my USB-C cable. And let me go to Xbox controller test. Right. If I go to this and we go to the desktop view, and I'm going to plug in the remote. Just waiting to see if it's picked up on this computer. Give it a second. Power it on. There we go. And if you look, the trigger is dead. That one's working. Everything else works, right? Apart from that trigger. The button above works, but that trigger has died. Completely randomly. It's not been dropped. It's not been anything. So, it's a week old. So what I thought I'd do is I'd do a quick repair stream where we have a look at this. Because rather than just take it back, why don't we see what is actually wrong with it to see, first of all, and see if it's anything that we can fix. Or is it just total cheap tat junk that no one can fix? Now, something else I'm going to talk about in a minute, some stuff I've been doing over Christmas whilst we've been off, is I've done a bit of 3D printing. I've been testing over the last couple of days the new Bamboo Lab AMS filament, which is the TPU. I'll be talking about it on a video in a couple of days, but I have been testing the filament to see how it behaves. Can't get into that one. I need to just find a screwdriver for that. 1 second. There we go. Let's do a longer one for this. But yeah, I have been testing the... Actually, let me do that one. No. That one. No. That one. Ooh, yes. Ooh, no. Let me just find it. No. No. Let's bring it back. Whoop. There you go. Me in the corner. I have been testing that TPU, and actually, I'm quite impressed. It's a bit hard, because it is 65D. But it's not too bad. Okay. So let's have a look at what is going on with this damn controller and see what a 4-day controller looks like with regards to issues. Did you guys see the Cadex website being down over Christmas? A lot of rumours started circulating. Have Cadex gone out of business? Are they doing this? Basically, someone updated the website and messed it up. But Cadex were down completely over the Christmas period. Okay. So, the top shell comes off with the mechanism up there. Okay. Oh, God. They're not so nicely... Oh, God. Right. So all of the buttons come out that way, is what we've now learned. Everything goes in like that. That one goes down there. But yeah, Cadex's website just was completely down over the Christmas period. And yeah, someone must have done an update. And so that just piece comes up like that. So what I wanted to do, see first of all, is if there's a loose wire and has that come loose on the board. Now, let's just zoom in and have a look. That looks a little bit sus to me. Okay, no. So, if we get a multimeter on this and have a look and see. That's the big button in the middle. Does anything else want to fall off while I'm here? No. Okay. Right. That's interesting. Now that is interesting. I'm looking there. Right. Let's get the board out and have a closer look. No, it's not a TBS Tango. It's an Xbox remote my daughter had for Christmas that has lasted a few days and failed already. So we're going to tear it down and have a look why. And have a look at what shite quality control has probably caused this from the manufacturer. It's literally lasted 4 days. Okay, so there we go. We're lifting the PCB. So that trigger's come off. Huh! Is that... Wait a minute. Huh! Look! The magnets come off. The whole it's a Hall sensor and the magnets come out. Let me just refocus. There you go. So, it's a Hall sensor. So where's that magnet meant to be? Let's... there. So that magnet's meant to be in there. And it's come out and it's gone onto the sensor. And there you can see, if I just go to this side, you can see there's the magnet on that one. And there's the sensor. Sorry, there's the sensor on the board. So let me now refocus. There we go, I've got it now. So, there's the sensor on the board, there's the magnet, so it goes down towards the sensor. It's the same here, the sensor's there, so this is meant to live on there, just like that, and then it's meant to go like that, bringing it in there. But the magnet has fallen and landed on the screw, and that basically should just be in there. Unbelievable. You've got to laugh at this stuff at times, haven't you? So which side was that meant to be in? Does it matter? Probably not. What I need to do, though, is get a little bit of super glue, is what we need to do. So let me just have a look if that's here, or is that back down the house? Because I actually have a brand new tub of super glue. That's not it. Give me 2 minutes, I'll be back. Entertain yourselves. Here I come. Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Huh? The things that happen. Okay, so. We're just going to put a little bit around there. Glue it in north-south to find it needs the other one. Yeah, that will be my luck. I'm guessing it's not that critical which way round it actually goes in. There we go. What an absolute joke. Now, the good thing is I can test this before fully reassembling. Anyway, so we can do a test with that there. So if I now plug in again and try to power on, we should be able to do a test on the gamepad tester. My only problem now is powering on. Shut up, motor. I just need to... there we go. It's powered on. If I go to the desktop. So that's the one trigger, which isn't working. That's the other trigger. That's not working. So wait a minute. No, no, neither of them. Nothing's working a minute. Let me just power down and power back on. Okay, so let's power it back on again. Why does the website not want to work? Let's have a look. Press a button. Okay, so here we go. So that's, there we go. There we go. And now if we try that trigger, yes, we try that trigger. Yay! There we go. What a load of crap. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to put a touch of super glue on this other one. Because let's be honest, if the one's fallen out, there's a very real chance the other one will. So I'm just going to put a bit of a, just a dab around that one and let that go off as well. Now daughter wants an original controller, lol. Yeah, well, we bought this one as wired because I built her a PC for Christmas. So my daughter wanted her own desktop for Christmas. So what I did was she's going to learn how to build one. That was the plan. So what I did was bought all of the components beforehand. I bench test built it up, tested it on the bench, installed Windows, did everything, installed Fortnite, everything you got to install, and then tore it back down. And then Christmas Day, she unwrapped all of the boxes, which was all of the components. So CPU, graphics card, all of that. And then for about an hour and a bit Christmas morning, she built her computer and I walked her through it. So, you know, we take the case, we do the motherboard. She put the CPU in the socket. I showed her how to do this. I showed her how to do that. And look, there were some bits that I did, like putting the motherboard into the case. Because that's seriously dodgy territory part, you know, because you've got the standoffs, so you've got to make sure there's no scratches, but she did all the screws. And then she didn't have to install Windows, because you don't want to waste the time on Christmas Day installing Windows. So I'd done all of that in advance. But she built her own computer, you know, we did the case, RGB, and all of that, the cable. And it was just a nice... and it was like, you're going to learn. If you're going to have one, you're going to learn how to do this. And it was, you know, it's not the greatest spec in the world. It's a Ryzen 5 3600X because I had a budget I was keeping to. Good enough CPU for most stuff. 16 gigs of RAM, terabyte Samsung SSD, 3070. I chose the 3070 over everything else. I'm actually quite impressed with the 3070. Interesting, if you read a lot of the video reviews, people tell you these are not good graphics cards. If you actually tried a 3070, it's not bad. It's good enough. You know, we set a budget of a I set a budget of £1,000 for the build. And just got it in, you know. No, I didn't go for the 9800X 3D. 3600X is fine. 6-core CPU, 12 threads. Doesn't need... She's playing Fortnite. She's playing some games. She doesn't need a 9800X 3D. I chose a build which will be absolutely fine for the next year or two. But if we want to upgrade it in a period, we can. You know, if you look at even a price of a 9800X 3D, the CPUs alone, you'd have been talking 1,500, £2,000, you know. You got to be careful with the pricing. Before you know it, the pricing will get out of control. You know, in the UK, what's it, 9800X 3D. And it's not just... The problem with the 9 series, right, is the board pricing is still high. That's the problem with the 9 pricing. I'm just waiting for that super glue to go off before we do it. So if I just look at GPU pricing, the rumors about the 5000 series aren't helping. Yeah, I know. I've heard that for 5080. Yeah, they're talking £2,500, aren't they, on for a 4090? I almost bought an AMD card, but they went out of stock and I couldn't get them anyway. What's the bottom line for RTX? What do people recommend for upgrading to in 2025? 4080 is a great card if you can get one at a reasonable price. Pick a 4070 Super, yeah. Yeah, it has gone way out of hand. And even CPU pricing has, right? When I wait for that glue. See, if we look here, you know, what did someone recommend? Did I go for 9800? You know, if you look at the price of a 9800, can't even find them on there. AMD. If we go, what are we looking for? $9,800. It's a $500 CPU. That's insane. I don't mind it for me here, but not on a $1,000 PC. You know, what I went for was the 5600, right? And the reason I went for a 5600, and I got it cheaper than this. I didn't pay that much for it. I think I paid about 98 quid. It's a great gaming CPU. Most people don't really need it. Most people don't need much more than that. 6 cores, 12 threads. It's good enough. It's good enough for a first gaming PC with a 3070. But I was actually pleasantly surprised about the 3070. How well the 3070 behaved. You want more VRAM cache for your games? Yeah, and that was one of the reasons I went for the 4070, was to get the 8 gig of VRAM. That I was looking at the 4060, but I went with the 4070 with 8 gig. That was one of the main reasons I chose it. Yeah. So, okay. Now that crap show has been fixed, so I've glued in the magnets on both of these. So was there a screw holding that on that side? Oh, I think there was a screw holding that on that side. Let's have a look, shall we? So, is that what that screw there did? So let's try, shall we? Bollocks. Come on. I'm trying to hold it and put the screw on the edge at the same time. It's not easy. Right, okay, let's try that again. Ah, that super glue is still a little bit wet. Or you could feel that sticky on my hands. Right, okay, there's that one. I felt that super glue a little bit sticky then. So, yeah, magnet fell out. Can you believe it? What a... look, what I will say is I'm quite impressed the joystick had Hall sensors. That's one thing I'm a bit... You know, I was expecting there to be pots in there, if I'm honest. There we go. Okay, so I should be somewhat impressed it had Hall sensors, but it's a bit silly that the magnet fell out. So that goes down in there. We then force in our motors for our mags. Because I said to my daughter, oh, well, we can just... my daughter said, oh, let's just take the joystick back. And I was like, well, I don't really want to mess... I'll be honest, I don't really want to drive to the bloody shop. I get so annoyed at having to go places. I don't really want to drive there. So it's like, well, can we not just... can I not just take it apart and have a look what's wrong with it? Okay, so that's that rumble motor, and then that's that rumble motor. Okay. Right. Spray it with activator, it sets instantly. Yeah, I don't actually have any activator. I need to... Oh, there's a screw falling at the bottom. And now I'm going to have to go and have a look for a picture on this to figure out where the screws went. Where the... with the the X's and everything. Yeah, no, we built the PC Christmas morning, and I bought my boy. My boy wanted a computer as well, but he didn't want a gaming PC. He wanted a laptop because he does a lot of mobile stuff. He spends a lot of time out and about for varying reasons with various members of the family. So he had an Asus tough gaming laptop, which was cheaper than the PC build, and I'm actually quite impressed with that. Okay, so that's looking good. Right, we now need to pop that on there, and now I need to figure out, so we need the gamepad tester in a minute. We'll clip it all together. Conform will coat it. So I've now just got to I got to get all of the buttons back in this and then figure out where they should go in the correct order. So that's all of them in. So I now need to just go at there. Let me just get this right. So X is U. No, it's not. Sorry, X is U. A at the bottom. Y at the top. And that then will be that side there. But yeah, I tell you what, I was glad. I was definitely glad I pre-built Windows. Okay, so this needs to go on upside down, really. Otherwise, we're going to be in the crap. Because everything's going to fall out. So now, in theory, this all goes that way. Ah, that's annoying. What a really annoying design. Well, less so. Oh, there's a hair. Get the hair out. Okay, so let's tighten a couple of screws and then we'll do a test before we do too much. So what did you amazing people there we go. Okay, that's looking good. Should we plug in? Let's test, and then if so. Ooh, the rumble worked. Gamepad tester. This website is weird stuff. Good website if you've not seen this. I've used this before. I have a full repair video on a Xbox controller my boy broke. I've never released it. I need to get it out. I did a full potentiometer swap on it. This was a brand new controller my daughter had for Christmas. I stopped working after 4 days. So, joystick working. If we get that off the screen there so we can see at the bottom. So, joystick working, centered. Joystick working, centered. They're good. New trigger. So, the lock. Yeah. Trigger works. Trigger works. Works. Yes. 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 Look at that. It's a little bit sticky. Why is that one a little bit sticky? Notice then it was a little bit sticky. No drift either. No. Yeah, no, it's not sticky. It's like, it's, let's just give it a second on it. That's the one you glued. Yeah, it's not working. I glued both, so they both got glued. It's got like a bit of a, like if I tap that, it's fine. Let's have a quick look. We glued both, so, you know, one's no worse than another from a glue perspective. Let's just, if I need to do anything, we will do something. I'm going to open it upside down this time, though, because that way the buttons should retain. All being well. Be nice if I didn't have to throw everything across the room. It's interesting. It feels better now I've loosened it a little bit. There we go. Get this off upside down so I don't have to lose all of the buttons. It's fine there. Just trying to see if there is any glue there, whether to just still get it to dry off. I definitely need to get some super glue activator. The super glue activator is such good stuff. Yeah, no, it's not catching there now. Interesting. Let me just check I didn't over tighten, because you can sometimes get these screws that they're a bit better looser sometimes than they are tighter. Do I see if I can pop the board out and have another look? We'll get it right is what we will do before we put it back together. One, two, three. Oh. I just want to have a look what we have. No. No, that's all fine. Just a little bit tight. Now he's glued. I just want to also make sure that the wiring isn't in the way as well. Yeah, the glue's all nicely gone off. There's no issues there. Yeah, there's no hint of glue on there neither. That's all fine. Yeah, no, nothing at all. I wonder if it's, I tell you what it might be, is there's not a lot of space there, and I did horse it in there a little. So let me just clear that a little touch. There's not much space down in that corner. No, it's a brand new controller my daughter had for Christmas, and in 2 days it looks like the whole magnet fell out of it. And it stopped. Here we go. Try that. It stopped working. After 2 days. Yeah, I just tossed the sensor in. There was plastic? Yeah, weird. It's a little bit tight down in there, but let me just pop ourselves back in. Feels fine. That feels fine. Nothing wrong there. Not wrong there at all. So let's go back together. So guys, while I'm doing this element, if you have any questions, do ask and I will try and answer them. Oh, that's not good. The wiring is right under the screws. There we go. If you do have any questions, like, when is DJI releasing O5? When will the goggles 4 be compatible with the DJI O3 Pro Black Ultra? Did my OpenIPC Mario fully die? I haven't had a chance to look at it. I gave up at the moment. I just don't have time to... Oh God, that made me jump. 2 seconds. Let me just message my wife. Right. There's definitely a little roughness to that side with the plastic. Can hear it. There's something on this side a little bit catchy. Yeah, I figured out what it is. Right, let me just do that. That looked a little bit rough, that plastic down there. What are my current thoughts on KISS Ultra Voltara? I really like... I'm in the middle of... So KISS Ultra, I'm in the middle of finishing my review. Okay? So I've had to take a stop because of the weather. The weather here just means I can't... I hit a point here where the weather hits me and I just have to stop. That plastic down there is a little bit rough. Let's encourage it, shall we? To not quite be so rough. There. That's the part that pushes on the magnet to break its holder. Yeah. It's yeah, so KISS Ultra. I really like the Ultra. I really do like the Ultra. I'm in the middle of doing the review. There's what's not to like. It flies extremely well. It sets up incredibly easy. It's got a really nice OSD and everything as well. Combine that with the Voltara. What's not to like? It's just... What I really liked about the Ultra was how nice it just flew out the box. Probably what broke it. Yeah, agreed. It was definitely a bit scrapey. And I don't know what it was like before. I didn't really pay much attention. But yeah, the Ultra, it's a great combination. It flies really well. Just out the box. What's not to like? Did you adjust the KISS Ultra's TPA influence back to default KISS yet? No, I haven't. That's better. That feels good. Good, 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 good. How KISS behave with a nicked prop? I didn't have a nicked prop. Right, let's put the two back screws back in and then do a second test. TPA, default TPA is the best. Yeah, I haven't, the weather here basically stops me flying October onwards. It just gets unflyable down with me from October onwards. I haven't had a dry day that I could fly on for 3 or 4 months. Properly. It's just, it gets very, very wet, very horrible. Anyone who knows South Wales will know what I mean. There. We'll go for that one. Better. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Let's just pop these in. And then we'll do a final test and see how it looks. FPV quad for fog here. Tired of the drizzle. Yeah, it's just, look, we've had really crazy weather down with me this year. We've just had so much crazy weather. We had flooding, we had the, you know, torrential rain. There's just been so much. Right, let's test that. That feels good. I think that bit of plastic was probably what caused it, if I'm honest. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the TBS wing. So, let's try the joysticks. 1, 2. Brilliant. Looking good. Looking good. Nicely done. All because a bloody magnet fell out. What's the chances of that, innit? When does the TBS thing come out? I don't know. I genuinely don't know when the TBS wing is, the wang is due. Chris Mosser has just released his new motor for it. Chris Mosser, 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks? Chris just released a new motor ready for the wang. It's on TBS's website. So if we go to the desktop, it's always too... Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. If I search for AOS, there you go, the Supernova 3220,000 kV. So, yeah, the motor's now out for it. We've got the motor, we've got the ESC, we've got the flight controller, we've got the power delivery board, we just need the wang. We just need the wing itself now. I'm genuinely looking forward to it. I am really genuinely looking forward to it. I thought it was meant to release before Christmas. Chris said, yeah, very possibly, my friend. Yeah, we haven't heard anything. It's just, it's wait and see time. It really is. But look, we've got DJI around the corner, which is good to see. We've got the new iFlight stuff. There seems to be a lot of ESCs coming, as people have said as well. There's a lot of rumour that China are going to be holding back some stock of stuff, and we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, just for me, before I wrap this one up, there will be a couple of videos that I'm going to try and get finished. There's another Express RS one coming. I've also got one of my first videos coming on the Bosch e-bike that I bought. I'm going to be talking about that soon because I got some thoughts on the industry that I'm going to be sharing with you. An Amflow. I actually wish I'd bought the Amflow. Wish I had the money for the Amflow. But I've got some thoughts on what I'm seeing and what DJI are up to in the e-bike world, because it's very funny, because it's the same things I've seen them up to in the drone industry over the years. And it's quite funny around what the games are afoot. That's what we'll talk about. And I'm going to talk about my experience with the Bosch so far and my thoughts on the industry and the fucking horrible behaviour of all the incumbents, including Bosch, who are a nasty, evil company if I've ever come across one, in the way they behave in regards to consumer repair, anti-repair, and the way... Here's a little tidbit. If you have a Bosch-equipped e-bike and your motor fails out of warranty, you have to take that bike to a dealer. And that dealer has to request on your behalf permission for you to be able to buy a new motor. They have to request on your behalf permission. DJI definitely know what they're doing, but they're definitely playing some games, which is interesting. They're certainly buying a lot of reviews. I'm actually not going to say the Ampflow is bad, because the Avanox looks incredibly interesting. The Ampflow is somewhat interesting. I think it's good. But DJI, what the e-bike world has to understand is DJI are not the saviour they hoped it would be. DJI are, like everyone else, a nasty, evil corporation that will shit all over its customers at the first opportunity it gets as well. And they have done and continue to do so. And where you've got to look at DJI is, you know, how many times, I know of 5 times, I think it is, that DJI have crapped over their customers as a result of bricking hardware and not resolved it. The O3 Goggles 3 issue, people lost their drones. DJI never even admitted the issue. DJI's firmware in the TB50 batteries was bricking them when left in the charging station, and people were losing tens of batteries at a time. The M200 firmware was causing the drone to fall from the sky, yet DJI never really admitted it until they were forced. DJI are a company with more skeletons in the closet than a night in a Halloween hotel. However, the e-bike world is full of as anti-consumer companies. I'm not going to say dodgy, but anti-consumer companies. And what is quite interesting is looking at the e-bike forums, and everyone is so desperate for someone to shake it up. They thought it was DJI. And the truth is, DJI are going to fit right in that world, because there is so much murky, nasty behavior. DJI will love it. They will slide right in to that world. It's crazy. Is there any way V2s are going to support O4? No. Goggles 4 coming anytime soon? Not in 2025. No. But it is quite interesting. Cheap Chinese e-bikes work for me. Here's a Martin FPV. My Bosch motor died 2 years and 1 month after. It was a pain in the ass to get it repaired, not on my cost. Died after 2,000 kilometers. Yeah, there's a good shop in the UK who does repairs as well on the e-bike motors, e-bike motor store. But dealing with the manufacturers is an absolute joke. How much control they are throwing over the industry is just insane. It's just insane. So I've just got some thoughts I want to share on it. It's a bit of a sort of a vlogging video. But there's more FPV content. There is something in a box down there I don't know if I can talk about. I still don't know anything about the new HD0 goggles, Johnny. I've not heard anything. I have nothing new coming from Cadex that I know of. Everything's fairly quiet. Other than O4, everything's fairly quiet. Do you think the Goggles 3 are worth buying? Absolutely. What I would say is this. If the downsides to O4 on Goggles Integra are no race mode, which means higher latency. If you are happy with O3, you will be happy with O4 on Goggles 2 and Integra, is what I would say. So the best bang for buck for O4 is Goggles 2 and Integra. Race mode is going to be a pointless exercise that 99% of users won't use. That's the truth, in my opinion. Race mode will just be something most people won't use. So the benefit of it is limited, therefore the best goggles are the Goggles 2 and Integra. And that will be the best choice. Would you buy the Goggles 2 or Goggles 3? If I was buying from scratch today and I didn't own anything already, I would buy Goggles 3. If I was someone sitting on V2s and I had a load of original DJI FPV gear that I don't want to replace, then I would buy Goggles 2 or Integra, because I want to be able to use the old E units. It really comes down to where you are. If you don't have any existing DJI ecosystem, then you may as well go Goggles 3. And I have a video filmed on this, which is probably going to go live maybe tomorrow, actually. If you do have an existing DJI system, you should go Goggles 2 or Integra, because that gives you the most wide compatibility. That's the thing. Someone asked, do I think any of the new features will come to the Avata 2? I don't think there's anything new really other than the race mode. There's nothing really new. Not too bad, my friend. If you're on V2s, go Goggles 2 or Integra. You won't get race mode, but as long as you've been happy with the O3 latency, you'll be happy with O4 latency on them. Because that way you can retain your old gear. Or, if you're happy to keep the V2s, leave them on the old system and get a set of Goggles 3. I don't recommend anyone in FPV buys the N3, by the way. No. Mr. Lowsome, no. Analog is superior. Yeah. How's the fit in the Goggles 3? I'll be honest, it's the best fitting DJI goggle. It is the best fitting. Maybe as a ride along, yeah. I couldn't find it one, Willie. I did tests on the Avata 2 and I couldn't find much in it. Are HD0 goggles available anywhere in the EU? They are really hard to get in Switzerland. Basically, HD0 were only selling direct for a while. What foam you recommend for Goggles 3? I just use what's fitted. The latency, race mode won't have fixed latency, not as far as I'm aware. No, it's just lower, 15 milliseconds on the Pro and 20 milliseconds on the standard. I have a feeling that the Vistas have worse exposure handling. Well, remember, the firmware is a bit different. Yeah, Integra is a good choice. Easiest to modify as well, as Blunt Keeper says there. It is complex. It depends where you're at today. HC0 or the Orcas. I really like the Orca goggles. I have always liked the Orcas. The Orcas are a good set of goggles. The HD0 is not a great analog goggle. It has some of the best analog DVR that there is because it has deinterlacing. But it's not a great analog goggle in the sense of it's bulky, the modules on the side. O4X or the Orca is a better analog goggle. Current thoughts on current DJI versus current walk snail for first digital. That's hard. DJI's about to change everything again. I think it's going to get very harder. Sorry, let me start that in English. I think it's going to be a lot harder to recommend Avatar moving forward, unless you have some specific needs. So here's an example, okay? Do you need HDMI out? If it's yes, you have to go Avatar HD. You really can't go DJI. There is options, but just listen to me here. The truth is, you basically have to go Avatar HD. There are options, which I will be talking about. If you need HDMI in, it's CADX Avatar HD. If you need very best image quality, it's DJI. There is no ear unit that CADX have that gets close to O3, let alone O4. O4 is going to replace your GoPro. O4 has ended your GoPro. The only reason to have GoPro with O4 is if you want to mix and match frame rates. Because remember, I'm going to yawn. It's getting late for me. O4 still has the same problem O3 has, which is the frame rate is linked to the live view latency. That problem remains. What happened to WTF 60 megabits a second? I think that was a mod that guy had who walked off and took it away. WTF was so promising, then it faded away. Yeah, there might be some talk coming on WTF. Okay, look, I'm talking to the devs in the background about some stuff. The truth is this. There needs to be some developers. If anyone is interested in developing, there are a number of things that we don't have on Goggles. Goggles V2 are over. We are heading to a world where basically WTFS is over, unless something happens for Goggles 2 and Goggles Integra. And you'll be stuck with the DJI OSD. We need developers. We need people who are interested in hacking to be able to do this. If people are interested, reach out and let's have a chat with everyone involved and see if people are interested in... It needs people to get involved. The team, like all good things, the team have moved on to other things because their life has moved on. That's how it works. DJI will sell a crap ton of ear units if they launch a VRX module like Walk Snail. That DJI will never release a VRX module. They're not interested in that. Any frames ready for O4? No, but would it be possible for a ground up analog to match? No, it's not even technically possible. Analog doesn't have image recovery, packet retries, and forward error correction. Yeah, there's no reason to get rid of O3. O3 is just as good tomorrow in 2 weeks as it was before. I foresee frames with interchangeable camera heads or just replacement parts for the day. How do I get the 100 frames a second mode on O3? While recording 60, I get 60. Correct. You have to match the recording to the frame rate. If you want live feed of 100 frames a second, you have to use the 100 frames a second recording modes. Look, guys, one thing I'll say on O4, and it's going to be my last comment. Don't rush out and spend too much money. Right? Right. Okay, here's my last thoughts. All of the reviews are going to come out, and lots of people are going to tell you how amazing this is. O3 isn't bad, right? The image quality on O4 is better. How much better is that? Well, is it quantifiably better to you? Is the range and penetration better? A little bit. It's quite a bit more than a little bit, but is it better for you? There is no good reason to rush out and spend loads of money just because you can. O3 is ended. It's over. O4 is going to be here for the next 12, 18 months. There's no rush. If you've got 2 builds with O3 in it and you're happy, then sit on O3 and wait. When it comes to O4, the image quality will be better, just like the Avatar 2 image quality was better. The penetration will be a bit better, just like the Avatar 2 penetration was a bit better. There are lots of little tweaks that will make it better. But things like race mode aren't going to be for everyone. Race mode is going to be on race channels. It's going to be limited bit rates and allow 8 pilots to fly. That's what it's going to do. 1080p. For new freestyle and you were starting, wait for the O4. Do I think O3 will be licensed by another company? No. This will be the end of O3 in my opinion. No, they won't license it back out. The O4 strictly replaces O3. O3 is over. Yeah, and that's going to be still a big problem on Martin FPV. Yeah, you're still going to have that with O4. Cadecs have a benefit there. You need a camera for O3 or O4. You're talking $80, 80 quid, 90 quid, whatever it is. There's no great need for this to be day one. Oh my God, I must have this. It's an improvement. It's a step up. But don't think it's not the difference between analog and digital. DJI did something with O4 that made it way cheaper to produce. Not really. There are some changes that made it cheaper. The S2 should be cheaper. There's one less RAM chip. There are a number of things that would have cut the cost. What DJI can also do, though, is use their margin. Ninth. Is O4 10 grand with the camera included? Yes. $10.2, I think it is. No, Leonardo, you are correct. As I said earlier, the latency is still tied to the frame rate. So, as for replacing an action camera, if you want 30 frames a second, you're going to have the high latency. So how important is low latency and 30 frames a second to you? The final price hasn't even been settled by DJI yet. I think they've probably got an indication on price, but they probably haven't. There's probably still a little time for flexing around. So, right, guys, I'm going to go and have some dinner because it's late. Hello, Alexander. How are you? I was talking about you earlier. Not you. Your products. Anyway, I got to go. It's late. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. We will be back Sunday night. Normal time. Normal time. Stay safe. And I will speak to you soon. Thank you for the super chats, everyone. Incredible.